listening to the Beer Craft Home Brewing Podcast. Tune in every Wednesday night at 6:30 Pacific for a dose of beer and brewing banter with your hosts, Ben Holm and Andrew Ziegler.
So hop aboard for a little wit and wisdom in the Pacific Northwest, because it's always beer 30 on the Beer Craft.
Alchemists get a bad rap.
Oh, because none of them make gold?
Right. But I don't know. These early proto-chemists, I think they were onto the right track. They were asking the right question. How do you take something simple and turn it into something better?
Now that part really worked.
It sure did. We just don't call it alchemy anymore. We call it brewing, winemaking, cider making, mead making. Simple ingredients, a little time.
And right about now, that means
Beer 30. Andrew, how the hell are you, man?
I'm doing great, Ben. How about you?
Good. I got a little modern alchemy. I went back to your roots, man. Like I remember one of your favorite little haunts back in the day. That little trickster IPA from Black Raven.
You know that is a staple.
Yeah, I know it. I wanted to see last time I drank this, I kind of got a feeling like something's changed. Something's a little bit different. I want to get your
let's go.
Your opine on that, having consumed more than 40 of these in your lifetime as well.
40 kegs?
Yeah, exactly. That's about right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that was my staple place, man. I went there since they were 3 weeks old, I think.
I found little baby brewery.
Yep. I was driving down the road and out popped this sandwich sign. It didn't say U-turn. It might as well have.
Yeah, but you did. Your car knew what to do.
Yep. Come in there. Oh, they were so fun. The first time I went in there, it was super small. I mean, it wasn't even it's as big as this studio right here.
Oh, that's nothing, yeah.
And everybody's super happy. Hi, how you doing?
A customer.
Yeah, there's probably one other person in there. A couple of people. And then they got I was with Jessica then. They got Jessica the Raven hat. And they're like, you guys got to wear this. I'm like, no, you can wear it, Jessica. She put it on. She's a good sport. And she put it on and had fun. And, man, I've been going there ever since. I've had some pretty fun times at Black Raven. Cheers, Ben.
Cheers, buddy. Oh, it is tasty. That is a good fucking beer. 6.9%. Yeah. See if they give us any other vital stats. Government warning. No, we don't need that. We've all seen
it's
that.
It's good and tasty.
It's good and tasty. So
you know what it's missing?
What's that?
It's like this roast, nutty flavor from the malt.
That was a feature of the.
If I recall, I thought he made it out of ESB, all ESB. Which is what? That ESB is a certain malt company, right?
ESB malt?
Yeah.
Oh no, I've seen that one. Yeah.
Is that a malt company? I'm forgetting now. I'm getting old.
Well, ESB is such a fucking bullshit. It's all marketing spin, anyways. There's no such thing as an ESB. Like nobody.
Does everybody make an ESB?
Well, ESB
blend?
was
is that
like
a blend.
It wasn't any ESB. The name Extra Special Bitter. That was just like one brewery putting a fucking on their label because that was like there's bitters.
Right.
Like, you got a bitter. They're like, oh, we're just gonna make this one extra special.
This was a malt. This was a malt.
I do remember somebody labeled like, oh, it's an ESB malt or something. It was like it was a skosh darker than like your
darker, a little
ale
sweeter,
malts. Yeah,
sweeter.
Yeah,
and so I believe this is a little sweeter and a little more nutty.
Like Maris Otter in Munich had a baby in your mouth or something like that. Yeah, a delicious baby in your mouth. Yeah.
Now, another thing would be the hops changed. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, you have to realize hops change year by year by year by year. The quantities that they bought.
The quality of the hops.
The quality. Yeah. So now they can guarantee probably their quantity and their quality.
Right.
Where before they couldn't either. So they really had to,
And that's probably the biggest difference I catch on this from like,
is the hops.
Is the hop change.
Well, first thing I caught was malt. First thing you catch is hops.
Well, there's this little like musty kind of hop profile I catch on this one now, and like I've run across it before in a couple of hops. Like there's one called Green Bullet. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Yeah, don't. It's probably got one of the best hop names on the planet.
Green Bullet, but it smells like butt.
It pretty much does.
Does?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I misread the label because I thought it said musty fruit, and I'm like, well, I can groove on that. No, it was musty, fruit. I'm like, oh, that's fucking different. And it did. It tasted
Musty.
like musty sack or something like that. I was
Gross.
like,
And
that
what,
isn't
in
fucking
that, what beer does that go in?
nothing. And like whatever I put it in, it tainted so hard.
I mean, not even a good.
It was a total. I did a pale ale with it, and I tried to make it the feature, and it was a total dumper.
Yeah.
It was a total dumper, and that like kind of musty. And so like, I haven't looked at like the born on date for that. What does that say?
This is pretty mass produced.
Yeah. So tricky. So this was a February
1826.
Yeah, so it's only 2 months old.
Couple months old.
I'm not too.
It's not bad.
Not bad for an IPA. Like it's within 3, so I'm usually pretty happy about that. On if I can get one a little fresher like that, and Hagen does a pretty good job of refrigerating their inventory, unlike some other retailers.
Take care of it.
Yeah,
and they're going through it too, I believe. Uh-oh, we have a special message coming.
Oh, it's Josh at work. We better. Josh, go for. You're on the air. What can I do
Our
for you,
first caller?
So I've got Jared here. He's picking up the Sankey coupler, but did we have the ball lock conversions with it?
Those have not. The Sankey to ball lock were out of stock temporarily.
Oh.
So
okay.
so what we could do is I thought I built one for him that has like the posts. It's on the back shelf.
The one you've got just has like the direct flare.
That would be the closest to the conversion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I was gonna say that looks like that. Okay. That's why I can't find them.
There you go. That's why.
Sweet.
All right. Cheers. First time caller, long time listener.
All right, we just had our first live call. That was cool. Heard you do some business. Ooh, that was busy.
That was good.
That was good business. All right, so where were we?
I have stuff and things. We were talking about beer.
Who knows?
Yeah. It's been good. How you been though? It's been like 2 weeks since we got to do this show. I know we had
Really
Greg.
good.
We had Greg in last time. Just that episode just went live today.
Today.
Well, as of recording, so for you guys it'll be like 2 weeks from now, or 2 weeks,
2 weeks
ago.
ago.
Yeah, that was fun. We had a good time in the studio with Greg from Terramar.
Yeah, I always like having people in.
Yeah, and that's gotten a little easier and better over time. I look forward to doing some more of that sort of stuff for sure.
Yeah, anybody want to come in?
Yeah.
And reach out to us.
Give me a call. You
Give
email
me
me
a
at
call.
brew
You know
at
where.
nwbrewers.com. That's Bravo Ringo Echo Whiskey at Nancy Whiskey Bravo Ringo Echo Whiskey Echo Ringo Sierra.com.
Nice. You're good at that.
That's all right.
That's all right.
That's all right.
We're gonna have a live auction soon.
A live auction.
You gonna
Where's
call
that?
it?
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Live on the
Live
podcast.
on the air. Yeah,
Live on the
we're
podcast.
we're gonna have an auction on the podcast. All right, we're gonna call it number 4. We're gonna
there we go.
give me $100. Give me $100. Give me $100. Thank you very much, calling 4. Yeah.
Right. Right. You must have went to
Bullshit school. Yeah. I'm pretty good at
caller school.
bullshitting. Yeah. No, I was a
auctioneer school.
No, but I was a caller. I was a bingo caller for 14 years. Well, not full time for 14 years, but for 8 of those or 9 of those or something like that. I did. I called the bingo at the Swinomish Casino, and
Must be
got
fun.
got used to a lot of microphone time.
Yeah. Well, I heard you fell asleep still calling.
Yeah, it was a dull job for sure. I would regularly fall asleep every 15 seconds. How about that?
Before
That might have been a little sleep apnea that was undiagnosed at the time. Be the main culprit, not necessarily the JOB, but yeah. It can still,
very cool.
it still
Very
happen.
cool. I did something pretty fun.
What'd you do?
I did. I ushered at the local theater.
You ushed?
I ushed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you were saying something about the ACT Theater in Anacortes. You were doing some stuff up there.
Yeah. And so, one of the worker guys there, the manager of the show, suggested that I go in for auditions the next day.
No shit.
Yeah. So, I had no idea what to do. You know, he's just like, just go. And he called me out in the show because we usher, we do our jobs, and then we close the door and come in, and we get to sit at like the edge 2 seats and watch watch the show.
Very cool.
So Billy's up there, you know, doing his whole introduction to the show and thanking people for being here. And he looks over to me and he goes, "We have he started talking about auditions. He looks over and points at me. He's like, "And you know who I'm talking about. I'll see you tomorrow, or you better be here tomorrow."
No shit.
I was like, "Oh God."
So what did you have to do for? What'd you end up doing for your audition? Did you have to do a reading, or what'd you do?
I had no idea what I was gonna do. I had no idea what scene going on. I was supposed to go onto the website and research it, and we did it a little bit, but we didn't understand everything that was supposed to happen. So I just showed up at 6, and there was somebody else there auditioning. Nobody else, just only her. And I showed up, and I'm like, okay. She had me fill out the whole sheet of who I am and all of that. And I was like, do I have to have a slot? She's like, no, you can go right on up. I'm like, whoa, okay.
Here we go.
3 people are sitting on the board behind the table, and they're like, okay, I don't know what backing vocals you brought or background music you brought. I don't know what song you want to sing. And
it's for a musical, huh?
Yeah. I'm like,
surprise!
I have to sing a song? And they're like, yeah. And I was just like, oh my God. And they go, hey, sing Happy Birthday. I don't care. We don't care.
Right?
I'm like,
we just want to hear you do it.
So I belted out Happy Birthday, and they're like, what the fuck? Okay, let me see your range. So he starts going on the piano. He's like, do la 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 la. And so I start doing that, la 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 la, and keep up until I couldn't anymore. And he's like, okay, you got it. He goes, I want you back here on Tuesday at 6. You need to go learn these 3 songs because you could hit these 3 characters' ranges.
Right.
So go back, check out the movie, watch the play, whatever. And
are you allowed to say what the production is?
Yeah, it's Damn Yankees.
Okay, cool. Fucking, that's cool.
I did. So after they checked my vocal range, then they said, okay, come back at
with
6.
these 3 songs.
Yeah, with the three songs. And so I learned them. Not all. I couldn't. No way. It was a day and a half.
Right.
So I did learn some of them. So I was a little prepared, thank God. I came back on yesterday, and they had me try out for one of the parts, and I was singing in front of them, in front of a whole bunch of other people.
That's cool.
And acting out I had to say a couple lines first, and had to do like the beginning scene of when it whole starts. It's the coach that I'm trying out for. And he had me do the first
the goatee makes you coachy looking, doesn't it? Yeah,
involved with like these hand signals. I'm like, all right, come on, Rocky. When you're sitting on base,
oh yeah.
I'm like, what do you do when I do this? And I had to do a whole bunch of hand signals and stuff, and talk to him. And yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. I mean, for never doing it before, I've never ever done anything like that before in my life. You know,
Did you have fun?
It was a blast. I don't even know if I was in drama class in high school. I don't think I was in drama class.
I don't think I did that.
Yeah, so I've never.
I smoked a lot of pot with the guys in drama class. That's about it. Yeah. That counts, right?
I should have. That means I should have. You know, a long time ago, I should have done it. But it was really fun, though. And then after that, I'll find out Friday.
Well, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
That'll be really cool. So I got thinking about, reason we're doing this show today. I was thinking about this, we got the new shop in the new space, and I got all this, bulk herbs and spices and cool stuff and, food stuff. And we're playing with this like modern alchemy kind of idea. So what, how do we tie in this like herb store and a brew shop? And so we're toying with, calling the space the Alchemist's Market. Which would be kind of cool. So Northwest Brewer Supply at the Alchemist Market
sounds
or
really cool.
Wild Valley Apothecary at the Alchemist Market. Yeah.
Now, how do you do on copyright of that?
We're working on like old trademarking and all that kind of shit. Like,
because that could be.
I think we bought the URL for it.
Well, you could buy the whole URL. I'm just worried about like the gist of it, the alchemy part, or the whatever.
Yeah, we're who cares? Like, I would love to get another cease and desist letter.
That's what I was hinting at.
That'd be great. Somebody fucking like if I rubbed somebody the wrong way that way, that'd be fine. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
We got notice. Goddamn, there's no such thing as bad press, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
All bad
So
press
just make
is
a
good
big
press.
stink about it.
Yeah. So when do you plan on really changing everything?
The part of it is, there is going to be a website, and it'll probably have some redirects to Northwest Brewers Supply. The new Shopify store is going to go live at some point.
Say the name again.
The Alchemist Market.
Alchemist Market.
Yeah, and so there'll be links to Northwest Brewers Supply. That Shopify store will still have, the brew stuff on one section, and then they'll be like, oh, Wild Valley, click here, and it's a whole new inventory setup. So,
it's an umbrella.
Yeah, it's kind of an
Alchemy
umbrella. It's the Alchemist umbrella.
Yeah, I
so
like that.
we've been kind of playing with that, and started working on like different things. So like, this thing we do is kind of alchemy.
Yeah.
It's kind of alchemy.
Yeah.
The Brewers step up to the kettle against their rivals, the Bad News Beers. GM signals a pale ale with a little Vienna malt to keep things light. An easy mash out for the Brewers. Next up in the order, the All-Star Hops making their way to the kettle. A little late change up, moving them down to a 10-minute edition. Here's the pitch. A clean American ale has this crowd drooling. 68 degrees of fermentation, and it's goodbye beer! Beer and baseball go together like hot dogs and buns. Hit your home run with Northwest Brewer Supply.
All right. So we've been throwing that word around a little bit now. Yeah.
What, alchemy?
What do we actually mean when we say alchemy?
Well, the alchemist, or alchemy. So the alchemist was really about. It was kind of like early, like proto-chemist. We're talking like ancient Egypt.
Yeah, I'm always thinking
through
about
like
gold.
the 17th century.
Is this before that?
One of the preoccupations of the alchemist was turning base metal, usually lead, into gold. How can we do that, right? And so the other one was like the panacea, the universal elixir, right? They were thoroughly convinced that there was one compound that could be made that would cure all diseases.
Yeah. Colloidal silver, man.
Right, man. The other one was the Philosopher's Stone, and this thing would grant eternal life.
Well, I heard that on Harry Potter.
Right, yeah, but it would grant eternal life, right? So that's
sorcerer's stone.
that was like that was from like ancient Egypt through like 17th century. Those were kind of like the main preoccupations. This is pre-Renaissance. Like we're not even into like scientific understanding as we know it in these days.
Now, what does this involve? I mean, if it does this involve more than gold?
Absolutely. So they were fucking around with everything.
And what I mean by gold is golden ale.
Right. Well, golden ale is a function of it, but yeah. They were trying to transform matter, turning something, base something into something else, and usually by like purification or isolation or amplification. Some of this was like there was very like elemental understanding. Like the elements, earth, air, wind, and fire. Kind of thing. But they were also they thought the body. What like the all matter in the human body was expressed as salt, right? Like we're made of a lot of salt.
We're made of a lot of salt,
and our soul was ether. And then there was and
they had no idea we were really made of water.
Well, the sulfur was the soul because it would like it would waft. You could see sulfur like wafting around.
Right.
Fucking, and that's like the soul and the spirit.
Soul?
And the spirit was Mercury, and it was the transition between the this malleable solid, a liquid solid, go from salt. So that was kind of like the intermediary between your soul and your physical body was the spirit, and that's Mercury, and they got a little fucking noodly on a lot of different things. And that's not to say like some very bright people didn't dabble in this stuff, like Da Vinci, Isaac Newton. A lot of his journal is replete with there's there's like over 4,000 like super secret alchemical symbols And you'd see these in
And
journals
how do you know
like
these if they're super secret?
well, they're no longer super secret. Somebody had a primer on them, but it's hardly an exhaustive. Like over 4,000 of them is hardly even exhaustive. So like one alchemist might come up with his own code, and his apprentice takes
and
it up.
What are these things looking like?
Oh, like a lot of like triangles, maybe a triangle with a line, a triangle with a circle, and and it's a lot like
rune signs.
God, it's more like reading. Have you ever looked at like a wiring schematic for your stereo or something? So all your gate terminals, like how your resistor works, and it's got its own little symbol for the resistor and a transistor and a diode and a fucking like all these little It's all like you have to know, right? Because we're not just gonna fucking spell it out. We're gonna mystify the whole thing. Very, very mystical kind of operations. But the takeaway from all this hooey alchemy stuff, like we can't turn gold, can't make metal out or gold out of lead. But a lot of these processes was where we got lab protocol and where chemistry was sort of born. Like we're under, as the alchemists investigated.
Hold on now, most of us out here are chemists.
Chemists by me. Yeah. Like a lot of brewing chemistry is a whole ass thing.
That's right.
But some of this stuff, these lab protocols, distillation, kind of those things, they're born out of the kind of these kind of studies.
Now we get
and
process.
Stuff. Yeah.
Now we get process, and that's passed on.
Right.
To
we may have said,
people.
well, the methods were interesting, but the notion was ludicrous. But what can we do? How can we investigate these other compounds? Can we distill these?
Water and turn it to gold?
Right. Yeah, and so it wasn't just the chemistry stuff. Our notions of science and philosophy, kind of grew out of some of these things as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. So modern chemistry was born out of that, lab techniques, and so we can do more things with alchemy than maybe the ancients were consumed with.
Okay, so we have modernized this alchemy. We have modern alchemy.
Now, that's traditional. So now, we've got modern alchemy. What are we talking about? We're still kind of thinking along the lines of intentional transformation, right? We're
doing something to some things,
right? And
something.
And is it repeatable? Can we make something else out of this other fucking thing?
So not to write this down. So now I need a language. Gosh, and it all ties together.
Well, we have a language. We have the language. We've got how we measure things. Temperatures in Fahrenheit or Celsius or the weights of things in grams or ounces or
Sometimes
hectoliters and stuff like that.
Sometimes AI even will convert those into each other.
Somehow. I mean, if you ask it hey, how many ounces in 47 hectoliters, it'll spit a fucking answer out for you, and that'd be great because I don't want to do that math.
Oh, it does a lot. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we don't get to use it for our podcast. Maybe we'll have an AI guest one day.
God,
that'd be funny.
Freaking me out, man.
On the phone. Hey, I could just make an AI app with a beer personality and put that on my phone and just hey, you just feed it everything. You just tell it to go out and search the internet for everything beer, and then you can even talk to it. You can even talk to it and ask it. Hey. What I think we get to do, we can take some very simplistic stuff. So beer's got 4 basic ingredients, right? Barley, water, hops, and yeast. And we get to turn it into something what Ryan Heiskell said.
Fuck your Ryan Heiskell. Your toilet paper draft legislation of 1516.
I'm going to make a teepee beer.
Yeah, teepee beer, Ryan Heiskell, who cares?
Ryan Heiskell, teepee what?
But I think, if we're taking,
all our ingredients, our basic properties.
And that was one of the things that got me about beer. Like, beer was kind of, in my early days, I was like, man, how do we go from cereal grain to delicious frosty beverage, right? Taking what is otherwise a relative of wheat and turning it into A, liquid, B, alcohol, and C, delicious. That was a mystery for me. That was the mystery I wanted to solve.
Yeah. You did, Ben.
But I'm still working on that. It's a lifelong passion and project of mine.
You need help over there. You just.
Yeah, you can pour that because you have 2 free hands, and I'm currently occupado.
What are you occupying yourself with?
With a script, with notes, with all of my alchemical notes written in super secret language.
All your chemistry.
Yeah. So I think kind of the modern corollaries, with alchemy, if lab process was born from some of these these ancient alchemists, we still have that in brewing today, in home brewing today. We have a process that yields a predictable result. The closer we can adhere to that process, the more the better we have the better chance we have at that repeatability.
The more gold we can make.
Right?
Man, I am all about this turning water into gold.
Yeah, barley.
I'm all about
barley.
this.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I can use a lot of different things to add to my water to turn it to gold.
Gosh, you can really deep dive into the chemistry of water, and we had a whole show on that. It was like insert episode here from the notes, but we talked with Bob Brock. Came on
the water episode.
Yeah,
that's like episode 2 or 3.
Was early in production.
Bob Brock was our first guest.
He was our first in studio guest for sure.
Was.
Yeah, it was very nice of him to come in.
Go listen to that episode so you can see the difference in recording.
How we do this. I try to explain to students in brewing classes is, you're watching. You've got this process. You're trying to adhere to this process because a single input variable in that process affects 4 or 5 other output variables in your final product.
Oh yeah.
If your 10-minute addition becomes a 3-minute addition because you were on the can in the back of the house, that's going to change your beer. It's going to change the output.
What? I didn't follow instructions?
Naturally. That, like those little fuck ups. But that fuck up could mean the difference between, it could have been a better, and it could have been an improvement.
So I embrace it.
If you wrote it down, you have a chance.
As a home brewer, I embrace this and I write it anew.
Write
next
a note,
to my notes.
make a note.
Because you can,
that way you can repeat your fuck up later.
Usually, what I have is I'm so old school, and I'm sure it's done with apps this way now. But I used to have my recipe sheet, and then on the back I would write the times of all the little things I did. Here's the timeline. Boom. Here's the 4:30 boil, 4:36. Who knows?
There's the plan versus actual.
Right. I wrote down my actuals every time, no matter what the plan was. I knew the plan already.
Right, because if your 10-minute addition turns into a 3-minute addition, but that beer is better than the last time you made it, if that was the only change, you could say, well, let's try to fuck that up again. Can we fuck that up the same way twice?
Yeah.
Because if that makes the difference on that beer, and you can do it again, you win. That's winning, man. Modifying that process and that recipe, is better at 3-minute addition rather than 10-minute addition.
Bam. It's a good mistake.
Yeah. I like Adam Savage from Mythbusters fame. One of his episodes is the difference between science and fucking around is writing it down. I'm like, man, you're right, man.
I like that.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. It struck chords with me. For sure. So what do we what is the alchemy of beer?
The gold.
Right.
What I've been
golden
talking
elixir, amber waves of grain in your glass.
Turning water into gold.
It's pretty good
that's
stuff.
what I'm all about. I mean, I think that's what everybody is about here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we'd love some lead.
I mean, I would.
That's a heavy beer, though.
I joke that
heavier
I'm
than
still
a stout.
working on turning lead into gold, but I get to make money from beer in the meantime, which is pretty good. So let's talk about the alchemy of beer. the big one for me is, I was mentioning it a couple of minutes ago, like, how do we go from cereal grain to beer, right? It's, we've got starchy, crunchy.
Okay. There's multiple processes
Right.
that we have to perform in order to get there, and it's all been practiced for so long.
Absolutely.
That these alchemists.
But when I got started,
of our forefathers,
I certainly didn't know what that process was. So that was the big, what is this? Right? So we've got a starchy seed, right? The cereal grain, wheat, barley, rye, they're all cousins.
Right. I just thought I came to your store. That's what I thought. I thought I came to your store. I grabbed this and I grabbed that and I put it together for as long as you told me, and I got liquid gold.
Right. You can go a
I didn't
long
even
way
think about these things.
if I give you a good process and tell you what to do and when to do, you can have a good beer.
Now suddenly
that wasn't enough for me. I wanted to know why.
Thinking about those
I wanted to know
ingredients
why.
now. Because I have multiple ingredients, I'm like, how does this guy now have multiple types of the same ingredient that do different things and make my gold taste better or even better?
Better or even better. It's even it's great.
Sometimes it even adds color to my gold.
There are, so there were little chemical mysteries involved in going from starchy grain to liquid gold. Right? That sounds a little bit like the alchemists of old.
Yeah.
Right? Those starches.
They never knew why, but they knew what.
Right. You've got that starch, which is, you can kind of imagine it as locked up potential, right? That starch payload in the barley kernel is enough fuel to grow a whole ass plant, or get it started until it can photosynthesize.
And I'm not sure how many kernels. 18 kernels. One kernel becomes 18.
18 what?
Kernels. If a barley stalk grows,
oh right,
it
how
has
many?
Two row.
Has two row barley.
If it has 9 or 10, it's 18, 20.
Well,
maybe 22 kernels. So one kernel turns into 22.
Yeah, so that starch payload's enough to grow like a little baby plant, and then once it's photosynthetic, the solar energy is enough fuel then to grow the rest of the plant.
Oh, I don't want it to grow to a plant.
No, we
want
don't.
that seed.
We as a brewer, we don't fucking want that.
I'm stopping that from happening, and I'm drying that thing out, and I'm eating it now.
Well, that was kind of that malting process.
Yes, sir.
Is essentially germination, and then cooking it to kill it as a seed. Right? That unlocked a lot of potentiality.
You stop it,
right?
And let it retain its energy.
Instead of putting
it into the plant.
That's kind of alchemical, right? We've done monkey fucked around, right? But we've monkey fucked around with that natural process to make something else.
You can dig these things probably like a squirrel out of the ground. I mean, you can go around and dig them out of the ground. The natural nature cycle will create this for you, but you have to know when it happens.
Well, the whole notion of which came first, did beer come before bread? The earliest earliest bread recipe calls for beer. The earliest archaeological evidence for bread
recipe
called for beer.
Right.
So,
but
anecdotally, we can based on the evidence we have, we can say beer first. Beer came first.
Yeah.
Which means somebody got had grains and got them wet and got wasted on it.
What we've always been told was, Mesopotamia had the first beer made, or the mead, or whatever. Okay, maybe everybody did mead way back then with the honey, but that bread,
already sugar.
But the bread fell in the honey water and made mead.
Well,
so we already had bread.
I think it would have been barley got wet and germinated,
sack.
And that liquid, that hooch, right? If you take flour and get it wet, it's going to ferment a little bit, and that product is called hooch. If you're doing a sourdough starter, think about your sourdough starter.
Then the dude got drunk, and the wife came out and tried to figure out what the hell happened to her husband, and she's like, "What is this stuff? It smells good, but
and he was fucking wasted. Is what
I'm gonna go make some bread with this."
Right. So if you're making a sourdough starter and you're letting that hang out, and as it goes into senescence, all the solids sink to the bottom, the gloopy mess, and there's a layer of liquid at the top, and that is That's called hooch.
Hoochie.
And it's a little alcoholic.
Well, I can understand that. Which came first, barley or the bread?
I think so. The alchemy of beer, like we've got a lot of like little itty bitty invisible processes making some massive impacts, right? From mashing to the boil to the addition of hops,
Right.
To then at the addition of yeast. All of this is happening behind the scenes, and you and I, as humans, without a microscope, right? Because we figured this out long before we had any of that instrumentation. All of this stuff was happening outside of our ability to witness it. Like we witnessed the effects of it, but we couldn't see how these things were happening. It was too small. Very alchemy, like noodly bits. Like, it's magic. We put the fucking thing in the pot and it becomes beer. If we stir it with the magic spoon, it becomes beer.
Yep.
Right?
That's the only way it happens. So nobody knew. So some of our modern alchemy machines, like you've been talking. One thing I can get from your store is called the all-in-one 5-gallon brew. That has the screen
like,
and all that.
The like mash and boil all
what is
grain.
that called?
Yeah, it's like that. We like the
or what do you call it in your
Brewer's
shop?
Edge mash and boil.
Okay.
It's an electric brew in a bag, all-in-one system. Yep.
Modern state alchemist gear.
It is. I call it a closet-based beer machine. You put a condenser on it. It's a closet-based beer and whiskey machine, which is pretty good. It's got a nice ring to it.
If you could figure out how to do fully automated, even hook that to like other pumps and some controllers.
There are like full automated systems, like add raw ingredients here, push a button.
Man,
and
only
get
if
beer.
I had something that clean my own thing. I think
I'm not a big
I think we're gonna get our own robots pretty soon that they'll be able to clean my system for me.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I definitely hate that part.
Robot, clean my brew system.
Right? Clean. Yeah. Muck out the mash tun for me, would you please?
And he'll be like, "What do I do? I don't know. Go search the internet for the proper instructions. It's there." I'm gonna love AI when it gets here. Absolutely,
It is here. It is here.
It's not.
But
here.
beer's not the only one. We've also got
Are
fucking
they gonna
wine.
be able to make me beer?
You're kind of shaping it the whole way through, from like mashing to the boil, etc.
We've got our process.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wine though, wine's a little
different. Okay.
We're not really like building it.
No.
We're just sort of like pointing it in the
Shaping it.
right direction.
Shaping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wine's a little, wine probably predates beer because there's less like production faffing about. Like we're not doing a lot of modification, right? Because grapes are already very sugary. The sugar's already there. We don't have to convert starch into sugar to get.
Okay, hold on. Now, grape juice,
Ethanol.
fermented grape juice was first.
It's probably
fermented
earlier.
barley.
Well, it's hard to say because it would have been a geographic thing. If you were to, if you look at like a Mercator projection map of the world, you can say, well, I know Italy and France makes a lot of wine, and you can kind of take, right, because in a Mercator projection, all your longitudinal lines are parallel.
Yep.
You can kind of take, well, Italy
Where
and
they are,
France
what goes where.
is in this band, and if I were to just draw a parallel line starting at those latitudes all the way around the globe, you're going to run into Argentina. You're going to run into a lot of other wine growing regions because
It's the same thing. We have the same thing in north as south.
Right, they're distance from the equator, both in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere.
Yeah, of course.
So grapes grow really well in those regions, right? It's a little warmer.
Right.
Right, grapes need a lot more solar energy than I get up here in Washington.
Yeah, I failed to tell you. I failed to tell you something. Washington grows grapes, right? Walla Walla. Now, why is Walla Walla good for growing grapes, but say we wouldn't be?
It's sun days. It's the number of sunny
days.
Sunny
at
days,
the certain
really.
regions.
Yeah, you need a
Certain elevation.
Yeah, when it's cloudy skies and fucking pizzly rain, you're blocking ultraviolet light that would hit the plants, and the plants sort of need that.
Oh, great.
And it's not warm enough for the development of sugars.
Right.
So Walla Walla, Eastern Washington, they got a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like they don't have as much water.
We'll get underdeveloped
but
grapes
we can pump water wherever we need it to go.
Yeah, we'll get underdeveloped grapes which aren't sweet enough.
It's harder to pump sunshine around.
Yeah.
There are a couple of like West Side grown grape species. There's some, predominantly white wine grapes, but there is a Pinot Noir variant.
Yeah.
That'll do it's like Walla Walla or Willamette Valley, Oregon. The Pinot Noirs out of there are actually pretty fucking good.
I got a hold
really good actually.
I got a hold of some,
And that's sort of a West Side grown grape.
I got a hold of some Switzerland Alps purple grapes and white grapes.
Oh, like wine grapes?
Mm-hmm.
Did you try to eat them?
No, I got stalks of them.
Oh,
so I'm gonna
grow them.
Yeah.
If you ever get the chance to like eat a Cabernet Sauvignon grape or a Syrah grape or a Chardonnay grape or something like it, you'll pop that thing in your mouth.
It'll be not sweet.
It's not. No, it is. It's
very sweet?
so sweet. It's inedibly sweet.
Wow.
The sugar content is so obscene. Like your salivary glands are instantly gonna like throw you like, oh my god, how do we fucking deal with this much sugar?
Really?
And they'll hurt. Mine do. Like if I eat it, like
hurt from
my salivary
sweet
glands
grapes.
just start like aching for the amount of sugar.
Yeah.
They're stupidly sweet.
That might
like-
be a problem with you.
23 bricks, 22, 20, 21, 22, 23 bricks. That's a ton of
That
sugar compared to like, say a strawberry, which is pretty fucking sweet.
Strawberry would be about
like
8,
10,
9.
15 or so. Like, it's
Depends.
got sugar, not nearly as much. So all your non-wine grape fruit wines or country wines, you have to add sugar in to get there.
pectin?
Yeah. Depending on the fruit. But
okay.
pectinase, yeah.
You have that in your shop, right?
We do.
Okay.
You know, like, what's that?
You can
so
guide-
your
you can
wine
tell me.
grape, though, your wine grape's kind of an interesting one. Like it's got all the sugars it needs. It's got most of the nutrients wine needs to become beer. There's a slight nitrogen deficiency that we have to account for. There in wine grapes. What was interesting about wine? This kind of like Pasteur, way in the back, he was postulating that that wine, all of the yeast must have been on the fruit because when you squished it, it would start fermenting.
Right.
There weren't a lot of additions they didn't have commercial yeast because Pasteur is figuring out this whole microbiology landscape even exists and proving it that it is. So we certainly weren't adding.
People were wondering.
We weren't adding yeast to wine back in the day.
Right. There was enough done to must.
Well, that was the original thought was that the wine must have had all of the yeast hanging out on it. The grape must have had all the yeast. We squished it. We exposed the interiors to the exterior, the sterile interiors to the filthy, dirty exteriors. And by filthy, dirty, I mean covered in wild yeast and bacteria. I mean, the average grape probably has about 50,000 cells of mixed culture yeast and bacteria.
Knows what's been? The insects have been all over it.
All over it.
So, God, I mean, who knows how good they wash?
So he's figuring like they must have all this yeast on there. But the research didn't really the research after the fact doesn't really paint that picture. So wine researchers have long been puzzled by the fact that Saccharomyces cerevisiae is actually pretty rare on fresh fruit. It's not there, and certainly not.
How did they do this all way back when?
Well, since it wasn't there in any sufficient quantity to turn it into wine, that was the big question. Recent research has determined that the inoculation of wine was probably through grapes, through raisins.
Raisins. Oh, wait a minute. Come on, tell me about this.
Yeah, so you pick the fruit, you dry it out.
Right.
It stores better that way.
Oh, it does, yeah.
Right?
And you might
it's
not...
easier to transport. Like if you're growing, 10 if you're making wine 10
Not
miles
as
from
expensive.
where you
Yep.
grow the grape,
Yeah, less water.
shipping water is really expensive. So a
Oh, wait
grape
minute.
travels better.
Alchemy, we're turning water into rubies.
Right, water into wine. So modern research has determined that like the grape gets dried out. Some of the grape gets like bruised up, pierced a little bit.
Yeah.
Because damaged fruit has really high concentrations of Saccharomyces cerevisiae.
Have yeast on it, huh?
The right yeast. The yeast we know and love today.
The yeast we love.
Yeah, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Not present on fresh fruit.
But where does this come
if
from?
we damage it,
Where does this come from? I mean,
well,
if
it's a decomposing. It's a decomposer. right?
Oh, that does not sound very good right now.
We are into with yeast. We are into controlled decay, right? So damaging the fruit attracts insects, attracts bugs. They carry Saccharomyces cerevisiae to the fruit. It inoculates inside that damaged flesh in sufficient numbers that when you get it wet again, poof, you've got the vinification or making wine. Vino, that's
that is crazy.
Yeah, that's the root word for wine.
Wine,
vine, that's the whole thing.
This is alchemy from nature.
I
love it.
Excuse me.
Oh, that's making him throw up.
Yeah, make me cough a little
All
bit.
these wines.
So it's kind of a cool. I came across this is actually a rather recent discovery.
Yeah, nice.
Is this raise this?
Well, does this happen with apples?
Apples. That crushing, that pressing, the breakdown.
I mean, I've had my apple cider. I did my crush with the neighbors, and then you put it in here for 2 months, and it's fermenting.
Well, I imagine this is a significant possibility with apple, or in the development of apple cider or hard cider, as we like to call it, but it's just cider for the rest of the fucking planet. Right, cider we've been making for the Britons have been making that since clear back to like 55 AD. Like the first mention of alcoholic apple juice was Julius Caesar's Norman invasion of the Britons, and it was written in Latin, but it was something along the lines, "Oh, how cute! They make wine from apples." How interesting! In the early Britons were making like crab apple cider. Very tannic, very like
right.
Yeah.
That's how
Roman invasion brought apples from other countries, like
cider.
from all over the world, and they like became a bigger thing because of the Roman invasion of pretty much everything. But I can imagine an early society like with a mechanical intervention agriculture system like we have today. What was the easiest way to harvest all the apples off the tree?
Shake
the shit out of it, wait for them to fall,
but they have to be well done,
which damages the fruit, pierces the skins, attracts the mycoflora of responsible. We get that wet, like squish it all up, and we
put
get
it
cider
all together in the tubs.
So my suspicion is that would be how most of those early ciders, because I can see like if the Saccharomyces cerevisiae was not on the fruit, on the tree in its whole form. If it's on the grape, it's probably not on the apple.
Oh, that means all the insects. Oh, that means flies, dude.
Dude, absolutely.
Oh, that's gross. That is disgusting. The flies bring the yeast.
Well, nowadays we get we have packaged
controlled.
yeast.
Thank goodness.
We've made a control.
Smarted out the insects.
We make our alchemical methods for cider, beer, and wine and mead. We've created an artificial monoculture ecosystem.
Okay, now where'd this yeast come from that the insects have it on them?
So, wait, the kingdom fungi, of which Saccharomyces cerevisiae is a member of, are the primary decomposers of the planet. They are present everywhere. Wow. And in all of the ecological disasters, we're talking like extinction level events, like the meteor that wiped out
They'll
the
be
dinosaurs.
Here just to clean up.
The fungus was the only thing left after those, or like the dominant culture after that. And
they ate everything.
They had a lot of work to do. Like if a meteor wiped out all life on the surface of the planet and the only thing that was left was fungi, well, somebody had to break that down. Somebody had to turn that into something else, right? Otherwise, we'd still be buried under a pile of every dinosaur, every leaf, every tree that ever fell, ever, effing ever. So kingdom fungi.
So we've had like two different evolutions.
Several.
Well, several probably.
Like the mass extinction events, like we can see those in the geologic, the geologic record. Like, there's been a couple of them.
The dinosaurs. Yeah. The dinosaurs were our first evolution, and then humans were second. I mean, the time periods of evolution.
There's some acreage in between.
I don't think
we're talking a couple billion years.
I don't think we've been able to dig deep, and actually, how far we've dug deep.
Dug deep
to find these artifacts. I think, well, can they disappear after, billions and billions and billions of years? As the Earth eats everything.
never mind the failures of evolution. Like we are the ones that survived. There have been
Yeast survived. Saccharomyces cerevisiae survived.
Yeah, but there's a host
Bringing
of
us
there's a
liquid
host
gold
there's
today.
a whole host of creatures and that didn't make it. Right? They're no longer here. The mammoth,
Right.
the saber and
Oh,
and
yeah, we
the
have
smaller,
things that
the
go
simpler the organism
extinct.
gets, the likelihood of its, there's more of them, and the likelihood of its
its
surviving
survival.
today is less as well, right? So there's a lot of different, things that, but that's not alchemical. So off the topic of today.
Evolutionary, not alchemy.
Yeah.
Okay, so why does this matter?
Well, whether you're making beer, wine, cider, or mead, all of them are going to start with simple ingredients, a little bit of time,
Right.
and a transformation. Whether it's
Alchemy.
yeast doing that little alchemy work, whether we're managing the starches into sugar transformation, or just counting on yeast to take naturally occurring sugar and turn it into ethanol, into booze for us. Something is changing from one thing to another, and
Something's going
that's
on.
the essence of the kind of that alchemical landscape.
Cool.
So yeah, and all of them, like the beer, wine, cider, mead, that's just like a different road to what is essentially the same idea. I tell people all the time, if you're trying to learn how to make beer, wine, cider, mead, once you learn the first one, the rest are easier, right? You've done the biggest
Right,
uphill
right.
climb,
I've already
understanding
learned-
cleaning, sanitation, fermentation characteristics, yeast health and
Important
development
processes.
all those. That's big material on day one. By the time you switch your sugar sources, you get a few new nouns to describe something you already understand, right? Because we like to change the name of things, right?
Yeah,
so your
always.
wort becomes must. If you're making hard alcohol, it's a wash. Like it all means sugary shit that gets fermented, right?
Right.
So you change a few nouns when you change your sugar source. But that's easily
the same
translated.
thing.
That's a pretty much easy translation. You don't have to
Right.
you don't have to even necessarily memorize the new word. You just think that's the mash.
That's
I'm
the
doing a
same
mash.
thing, what?
It's the wash or
Yeah, it's
the
always
wort
weird.
for wine. I don't fucking care that they call it must. I know what wort is. It's unfermented shit. Okay, go. So that's kind of thing. I think this thing is it's more than we're not just making a drink. We're taking something and making a completely different thing.
So we're not just turning lead into gold.
Not so much
We're turning water into gold. I
and
love
that,
that.
that's pretty fucking tasty.
I love it. I love my golden ale.
Well, I hope you guys got something out of this little alchemical ramble on beer, because that's kind of my shtick.
You got it.
Yeah. We're going to come back in a couple weeks. We're going to have a brand new show. Maybe we'll have a guest. I'm still working on a tequila show. Tequila. And so
love it.
that's still in the works. I haven't forgot about you.
It's the best karaoke song ever.
Tequila.
One word.
That's it.
The whole
It is
song.
pretty fucking
It's
easy.
the only
Yeah.
thing you say. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Peace out.
Love you guys.